Okay, I think I have everything set up. Hopefully the music's not too loud. Okay. Alright, let's get drawing. I gotta pull up some references real quick, but other than that, I'm pretty much ready. Okay. Sorry, it's kind of slow. I'm good. How are you? Sorry if it takes me a moment to respond. I have to like switch back and forth. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I had to work last night, unfortunately. So I'm a little sleepy. The stream might be short, but you know, it is what it is. Figured I might as well draw. Okay. For some reason, like my reference images don't want to pop up on my computer, so I'm gonna have to pull them up on my on my phone, unfortunately. Have you been watching Mr. Osamatsu lately? I haven't been lately. I need to rewatch it again soon. But the last thing I have seen, has been, there was a couple of like OVAs that came out recently. I do want to make a video about it at some point, or videos on the two movies that came out. I think it was the Takoyaki Party one, and I actually really liked that. But aside from that, I actually haven't watched the show in a while. I should probably rewatch it, frankly. I am going to be watching, I might do like a watch along or something. I am probably going to be watching some Osamatsu-kun videos at some point, or episodes. Because I'm still working. I'll have to go back to watch Osamatsu-kun because he was like the main character in that one, and he's sort of like relegated to more of a side character in the reboot, so yeah, man, I'm such a diehard fan. I've been, I think, in the fandom since it came out. It's wild. Sometimes when I think about that, I'm like, man, was it really? I think about it like it came out in 2016, and sometimes I'm just like, did it really? Is it really that long ago? It doesn't. It feels like yesterday, but oh, I really hope season 4 comes out soon. I miss Matsu Mondays when Crunchyroll would pop up with the new sub. Hopefully soon, cause like since Since it's gotten 2 OVAs or 2 like short movies, that means it's actually doing really well and it's still really popular in Japan. So hopefully that means that we'll be getting a season 4 soon. I imagine we will be. I just like I don't know if it's gonna be like this year. I hope so. It's been so long. But I will say the OVAs were they were really good. I think that the takoyaki party was probably the best one in my opinion. Though there's one like called Hopipo, and that one was also they were both really good honestly for different reasons. I really want to make videos on both of them. Soon. I have to focus on the Ayami video right now because funnily enough I've been working on that video for like a year now and I'm still not done with it. Largely because I had to start over doing so much shit. Me too, I was 14 when I heard of it and ever since then I have been into it. Oh wow, that's so young. I think I was 16, I was pretty young too. It's just so charming. After I watched it, I got really into like vintage anime and stuff. So I totally agree. Like it's just such a fun anime. I feel like people who like watch it, they like even if they're not like a huge diehard fan, they still really like it. I've heard very few people who don't like it. Typically it's like people who don't really like comedy anime, but you know. Oh god, that actually reminds me of like a funny story. I was like this was a few years ago, but I was like at a party where I didn't really know anybody. And it was like a party full of nerds, but like I was like a friend of a friend and I didn't really know anybody there. And I was trying to recommend Oso-san to this one girl. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, like it's like such a fun anime and like it's really funny, but like also I really like the character development and she just like stopped me mid-sentence to yell at me. It was like, I don't like comedy anime. It was so rude. Some people are like really adamant about that stuff. But yeah, I realized I kind of got off topic there. I am probably gonna do like a watch along or something because I'm still kind of I need to reacquaint myself with Iyami and like watch a lot of his like most important episodes from Osomatsu-kun and Osomatsu-san the reboot. But I've mostly been doing research on like Fujio Akatsuka right now, like the author. Cause I mean I won't spoil it, but like he's really important about like Iyami's story, and like Iyami's like actually pretty big and like he was really integral to Japanese like TV history and stuff. And so I'm like kind of going on a bigger deep dive than on my other character analysis videos, which is partially why it's been taking so long. I mean, I've also been having a lot of it's been like super in-depth research. It's pretty interesting, but I do still need to watch some of his biggest episodes, like most important episodes. I love the episode where he has God, I forget her name because it's been a couple of years since I've rewatched the show fully, but the one where he has a daughter. Oh, Billy. Yeah. Billy. Dude, I was fucking devastated when that happened. Because he was like a really like cool guy. I honestly feel really bad for Osamatsu. Oh my god, like, first, his English dub voice actor unfortunately passes away from, like, something horrible, and then his original Japanese voice actor does, like, basically gets caught in, like, a huge cheating scandal. That was nuts. I almost forgot about that. I tried to find all of the episodes of Osamatsu-kun. I could only find a handful. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of Osamatsu-kun's actually, if I remember right, a lot of it is like actually like lost media, which is super unfortunate, but unfortunately a lot of, not even just Japanese media, but a lot of media from like the 80s and the 60s and stuff like that, a lot of it is just gone because like I think a lot of people at the time just didn't have the foresight that like maybe people would want to revisit that stuff. Like they didn't think it was important enough to keep it or archive it. Which is super, that happens to a lot of like anime and cartoons, which is super unfortunate. I was, that actually reminds me. So, something fun, I have a really cool idea of maybe, you know, talking about some obscure animes and stuff, and I found this really obscure magical girl anime, where like, she like, turns into like a super pig, but like only it's a really weird anime, but only some of it is still archived, and weirdly like only like some of the best archives I could find were like on Facebook. It was super weird. I'm gonna have to do more research into that, but it's a very common problem for old media. It makes me sad because I really love vintage stuff, and I really love media like that, like talking about old media, because I think that stuff should be like archived and like, I don't know, like it's super interesting to revisit stuff from like things used to be. I think that stuff's super fascinating, but an unfortunate reality is a lot of that is just gone. I do really respect the people that find lost media though, like, I don't remember who it was on Twitter. There was somebody on Twitter who found some like old commercials from like the 80s that had like Chibita in it and stuff, and it was relatively recent. There's also like these, ooh, they found like pictures of like these really creepy like mascot costumes of Chibita, and like I think it was like a Matsu? One of the Matsus. I mean, at the time they were indistinguishable, but oh god, they were so creepy. If I can find that again, I'll probably put it in a video or something. I know what anime you're talking about. I just forgot the name of it. Yeah, the name of it totally escapes me right now. I'm sure I could find it though. I had never heard of it before. It was what's funny is like when I was looking at it, I was like, the design for the main girl's actually really cute. And the manga, the mangaka, like their art style was like super cute, very shoujo, but like it's such a bizarre superpower. But yeah, I love stuff like that. Honestly, if I could find like lost media, I think I'd freak out. Even though I'm like, I think I'm kind of known as like a Sasan channel, which honestly I'm fine with, because like it is my favorite show in the whole world. I do want to talk about like other shows, popular ones and obscure ones, but like, I don't know, man, like there's something about liking something obscure that I just tend to really like obscure stuff. There's just something about it that I like. I like obscure things. I do wish so many of those things were not lost media though. I watch a lot of videos about like early 2000s stuff, like Flash games and stuff like that, and even a lot of that is like is lost media. It's weird how much that affects like different types of media. Like it affects all types of media, and even just not that long ago we didn't think things were worth like archiving and stuff like that, which is kind of sad. And honestly, I kind of want to make, if I can get access to like, I don't have a VPN right now, so I can't really look at Japanese internet right now. But once I do get one, like I'm definitely going to be like trying to see if like maybe I can find more stuff. Because I know too, a large part of it is like, you know, region locked, which is dumb, but you know, that's how it is. I think I made their face too round. But yeah, honestly, I have so many ideas for the channel. Not all just being Osasan, but let's be honest, a large portion of them are, because I have a problem. I'm gonna be really excited whenever I'm done with the Yami video, because after that I can get started on actually doing character analysis on each one of the brothers, like I've been promising for a while. So that will be very exciting. I always wonder why some animes and cartoons are lost media, because I'd really like to see the content of it. Yeah, same. I don't think it's like because people didn't like the shows or whatever at the time. I mean, it is the anime I was talking about earlier that I can't remember the name, but where the girl turns into like a pig like a super pig with like a cape on. That one I think is lost media largely because it did like really bad. I think in like America, I think it did okay in like some, because it was released to America, but or like to Western audiences, but like it didn't do very well, which is unfortunate. But most of the time I think it's just like lack of foresight. Like people are just kind of like, this is not worth like keeping, or like kind of almost just not realizing that maybe somebody one day will want to see it, which is, I understand maybe not having that foresight. Like I don't blame those people. Like there's no way they could have known that people want to still see it, but I still think like for like history purposes it would be beneficial. I know like a big thing with like, especially like internet culture and TV culture and stuff, it's also kind of looked down upon by some like scholars and stuff. So like if you dedicate yourself to like doing research in those types of things or stuff like that, people kind of don't take it as seriously, which like I think is kind of sad, because I actually think like TV history is really interesting, and honestly it's like a really good way to like look back at like a time in culture. But I think unfortunately it gets kind of like oh, that's not important, kind of connotation. I also drew a tribute of Billy Kennett's. Aw, that's sweet. I don't think I ended up drawing anything, unfortunately, but I do remember seeing a lot of like tributes at the time. He definitely deserved it. Like Billy, like the tributes, I mean. Oh my god, I realized that sounded wrong. He deserves the tributes. He did not deserve to pass away. Oh my god, that sounded horrible. I'm so sorry. Ugh. I need to think before I say shit. No, yeah, him passing away was a huge blow. I think to a lot of people, like a lot of people really cared about him. He seemed like a really, really awesome dude. I wish I had better words. But it's, oh man. Yeah, I remember when that happened and like the whole fandom was honestly shocked. 'Cause like, he was like very beloved, not just in Oso-san, like he was a pretty famous voice actor. And he even had like fans in like the I think Broadway community, because I'm pretty sure he plays Aladdin in like the musical, the Aladdin musical and stuff like that. Just like a really, really awesome guy that died unfortunately very young. It's incredibly sad. Honestly, like, that's also reminding me there was a lot of hubbub around the English dub. I remember there was a, oh man, back in the day there was a campaign to change the Choromatsu voice actor. I might do a video on that as well, because that was an interesting time. Giving me ideas. His voice acting sounds to me like he a Giga Chad. Honestly, he fucking was. Let's be real. He was a Giga Chad. He probably would think that was funny. He honestly, like, I would have loved to have meet him. I'm like, maybe it's just because I'm tired, but like, I can't think of any better words. He just seemed like, I don't get this often with like celebrities, like I don't, but he's like one of the few that I looked up to quite a lot. And I'm not usually huge in the voice actor stuff either. Like, I know some people are like super into like, especially like Japanese, like seiyus. But Billy was an exception. I really liked him. Normally I just don't really like care about it that much. But he was one of the few I actually did give a shit about. I think he was a pretty good Oso as well. I do wish they had gotten a better Choro. It's really the one Matsu I have a gripe about. I just don't think he sounds like Choro very much. But, no, yeah, I think he was a great Oso. My favorite boy. I have to have some bias for that, so. Me too. He sounds like an awesome guy to hang around, honestly. Yeah. And like I said, I really don't get that often with celebrities. I'm typically pretty like, I wouldn't say like anti-celebrity, but I don't know how else to say it. Like I'm sort of like not like, I'm neutral about them, I guess. Like I don't really care about it either way. But Billy was actually a guy I really looked up to, and I really thought was, like, a cool dude. I'll probably eventually make a video about his time voicing Osamatsu, because, like, unfortunately not very many people talk about this show. It's really just me, and, like, one other anime review channel, I think? God, it was a smaller review channel, but he seemed like he liked my original SSM video, so. Eventually, if I, get the chance to upload more often, like, I'll definitely get around to talking about all that stuff. Because, like, I've been wanting to for a long time. It's just, real life gets in the way sometimes. Let's clean the sketch up a little bit. Oh, I forgot the halos. I'll add that real quick and I'll clean them up later. Honestly, like, this is reminding me a little bit, like, there's been some wild shit that's happened in the assassin fandom. It kind of surprises me that no one talks about it. I guess just because it's such a small like, it's a super popular show in Japan, but like in the West it's not very popular at all. Like obviously there's like a cult following, but aside from that there's actually not that much. It would be interesting to go back and look at the like history of the fandom and stuff like that. I've actually, thought about that. Though also it would be like super cursed, like super duper cursed, cuz like, oh my god, early fandom was weird. Actually insane. I had some wild shit happen in early fandom. Maybe I won't talk about the bad shit that happened. But yeah, crazy fandom experience. Definitely never really seen something like it. I do think it's kind of more common to have crazy shit happen in fandoms nowadays, though, but at the time it was kind of, whoa. The other thing, I don't know who will be a good candidate to do the voice of Zosumatsu, because he's perfect for a role. I just don't know who can top him. That's fair. I do think, unfortunately, they're not going to continue the dub, because I think it didn't do super well in the West, which I was super sad about, but I kind of understand because they are all characters that like Japanese audiences would remember, or would be like, oh, well, I heard like my grandpa talk about Yami from an old show he used to watch or something like that. And that's partially why it does so well. But in America and other like Western countries, aside from ones that had Osamatsu-kun dubs, like I think it did pretty well in like Latin countries because they really liked Osamatsu-kun back in the day. But in places like America where they didn't have that, everybody was kind of like, what the fuck is this shit? And I was just talking about Osamatsu-san. It is really unfortunate though that I would have to look at Viz Media's like Twitter or something, but I think they talked about that a while ago. Or either that or it was like, oh no, that's not it. The company didn't say anything, but I think like Ray Chase or somebody said like, yeah, it didn't do great, so we may not be continuing it, which is unfortunate. I do think like the Japanese dub is better in my opinion, but like it does suck if people like were fans of the dub and like really liked the dub, like not getting season 3 dubbed or like season 4 dubbed whenever season 4 comes out. That's kind of just how it is though. Unfortunately, with like obscure animes in like the West, like they just kind of get ignored if people don't really know about them. To be fair, I don't think Viz like marketed it well either though. Cause like they also like took forever to even make the dub, and eventually when they were done with it, they didn't really market it that much. They marketed it a little bit, but as much as I like the dub, like Viz is kind of meh as like a company. Same. Hey, maybe one of these days the show will gain more recognition. I honestly hope so. If not, I will make it have more recognition. I'll talk about it so much. I mean, like I definitely don't want to limit myself to just Osasan, but I cannot even tell you how many Osasan ideas that I have. Like, I'll create such a big stink and push it so much that people will have to watch it. I'll just talk about it more, and always. I'll bring it up in every conversation. I do hope it does get more recognition. I do notice that whenever like a movie I know the OVAs brought in some new people. So anytime there's like a new season or like a new movie or something like that, people kind of get interested in it again. So maybe when like season 4 sort of comes out, more people will join the fandom. That'd be awesome. I notice that happens every time though. Like we get some new people every time they release something. I do wish they had kept the mobile games because I think partially that like helped kind of keep some fans. And also, I'm biased and I really liked all the outfits that they made. Whenever season 4 comes out, which it probably will, I'm gonna have like a celebration stream. I hope they do more with side characters too. Because I'm one of the few people that really likes the side characters. They don't get enough love. I do think I like really wish that they originally for season 3 they were gonna have the AI be villains, but I think they couldn't because like COVID hit at the same time in Japan, around the same time they were making it. And so I think it unfortunately had to be scrapped for something easier. Maybe they'll bring that back for season 4? That'd be cool. Because one thing that I'm kind of sad about season 3 is I feel like they really did not use the new characters that much. Like, they were just kind of there. I do really love them, but I feel like their potential was not realized. Me too, I'll do mini drawings of the show, and I could even ask my friend to watch it with me. Yes, you should infect them with the Osamatsu curse. Honestly, I need to rewatch it. It's been a minute. I've been watching a lot of like new anime, but I definitely need to go back and rewatch, cause man, I do love it. It's my favorite. I'm not ready for the sad episodes though. No joke, like episode 20, every episode 24 makes me cry. But I'm also like a baby, so. Ooh, I need this eyebrow. I fucked up this eyebrow like really bad. What the fuck? Okay, that's normal. I put it way too off to the side. Okay, yeah, this character has eyelashes. Okay. For a second I thought I'd fucked something up. But yeah, honestly, if I get known as like the Osamatsu-sen YouTuber or whatever, that is a win in my book. Because honestly, originally, I actually only was going to post only Osasan content. I just don't want to limit myself, because, like, you know, you can only post so much about one topic, even if you really, really love it. So might as well spread it out with other content. But yeah, honestly, I'm like totally fine with being known as the Osasan YouTuber. Like, if I'm the one that has to keep talking about it so that it gets more recognition, I will do that. Please watch my garbage boys. I love them. I love my garbage neats. Please. I beg you. I think I'm already kind of getting that, though. I'm sorry I paused, I got focused. But, I think I'm already kind of known as that right now. As that one YouTuber that talks about Osasan. Hey, I'm fine with it. It's accurate. I kind of want to talk about Spy Family, because I recently watched that. Obviously it's still being made, but I kind of wanted to make a review of it because it's actually really good. That and like Dungeon Meshi is another one that I've been watching. I really like that one. I love fantasy type shit, so I'm a sucker for like elves and magic and dwarves, and I love me some high fantasy stuff. I think that's why I also really like the Osasan, like with like Hesokuri Wars and like Shiba Matsu and stuff, like when they had like different outfits and stuff. If they had one that was like fantasy related, like vampires or something, I was like, I love that shit. You're an Osamatsu YouTuber in my book who knows a lot more than I do. Oh, thank you. Dude, I'm crazy about this show. It's yeah. I mean, I'm glad. Like, I think it's just like interesting to talk about this kind of stuff. Um, I love like TV history in general, but like especially with like Oso-san, like it's kind of weird how pivotal it was in like a lot of like Japanese like TV history and stuff. Um, but like the crazy thing about it is even though it was so pivotal and like it had so much influence on like anime and manga, and like the author was like he was like a fucking powerhouse. He made the first magical girl manga and shit like that. Like he was a powerhouse. He was called the king of manga at one point. But like nobody in the West knows about it, and nobody in the West really knows who Fujio Akatsuka is, and that's crazy. I think that's insane. And like we know about like a lot of people in the West know about like Astro Boy and like the mangaka that did that. But nobody knows Fujio, and the funny thing about that is they were friends. It's just, I think I've always been a lover of like, you know, I think I've talked about this a little bit earlier, but like I love obscure things, and I feel like history is a lot more interesting and stuff, but you have to know where to look, you know? I'm a history buff, but it's particularly in like weird parts of history. Like for example, I know a lot about like medical history because there's a lot of weird stuff that we did there. I probably won't make videos on that because there's already people making content about like weird medical history. Like I'm not gonna. I think I'll stick to my cartoons. But no, yeah, like it's crazy. Like you don't realize it, but like maybe a TV show you're watching or like a video game you're playing or something like that is later gonna end up in like be like a really pivotal part of history, and you wouldn't even know. And I think that's why it's so interesting to me, because like these people that watched Osamatsu-kun or read the original manga and stuff like that, they had no idea like how pivotal it was going to be. Really, the king of manga is not recognized. I'll tell my friends about him. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely gonna make like a video on him because like I think he should get recognition for it, because like it's weird. Like we recognize like the guy who made Astro Boy. He was also like a huge mangaka at the time. They both were powerhouses, honestly. They both made like some of the most influential like early manga and like early TV shows and stuff like that in Japan's television history. But it's weird, like they don't get any recognition in the West. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. Like obviously if you don't live in Japan, you're not gonna know, but like I would like to maybe, you know, get people to know about him more and to know about like people like that more, because that's a sad thing about history to me. I love history, but like a sad thing about history, and it's really common with like television history and cartoon history, honestly, like just like any media really, is like a lot of people we just like won't know about because like they didn't get credited at the time or like something like that. A really good example of that is back in the day when video games were first becoming a thing. A lot of musical artists for like Street Fighter, for example, were just like straight up not even credited in the Western versions. Like they'd be credited in the Japanese version, but like when they would localize it for like Western audiences, they just like would go by like a nickname or something. And for a long time, we didn't know who made like the original Street Fighter music. We actually, I think somebody recently found out in like a really interesting, I wish I remembered the name of the video. I watched it months ago, which is why I can't remember it, but there was a really good video where a guy figured out like who the uncredited like composers were. It's really fascinating to me. And even in like mainstream history that happens. Like a really good example of like mainstream history where that happens would probably be honestly like Thomas Edison. Like the shit that like he claimed to invent was not shit that he invented. He stole a lot of stuff. Oh man, Thomas Edison is a whole thing. I probably won't make a video about that because that's more general history. I mean, I guess unless people like want it, but like I'm more focused and like I like to research stuff with like cartoons and stuff a lot more, obviously. But no, yeah, like Thomas Edison, for example. Oh, he was a fucking dirtbag. He ran like, I guess these like shops or like, I don't really know what you would call them, but if you were like an inventor and you didn't really have the money or like didn't have the resources to do what you wanted to do, you could go to Thomas Edison. He'd be like, okay, I'll give you all the resources, I'll give you the money, but like after you make it, I own it. And so like there's like a lot of inventions that he claimed to make that we don't really know who made them. And there's actually, oh my god, there's this whole unsolved murder that we think Thomas Edison like killed a guy because he was the original inventor of like the video camera, but Thomas Edison wanted the credit for that. Ugh, he was a shitty guy. Don't believe anyone if they say Thomas Edison was a good guy. He was not. I mean, don't yell at them. They probably just don't know. But he was a shitty dude. Have you heard of the Laughing Salesman? The art style reminds me between Osamatsu-san and Doraemon. I have heard of it. I haven't watched it yet. I heard it was very good. And the reason it is probably similar is because I believe it's trying to replicate Japanese Showa era art style. The Showa era was like a long period of time in Japan, but usually when people talk about Showa, they talk about like post-war, because Showa era was like a really long stretch of time. So there's like pre-war Showa and then post-war, and like post-war is like, I'm pretty sure it's like 70s, 80s, around there, which is why a lot of like, if you look up like a Showa anime or Showa manga, it's usually stuff from around that time period, maybe even the 60s. I'm not an expert on like the actual time periods, but I do want to watch that though. I love art styles like that. I wish more anime had art styles like that. There's just something really charming about it. I love it. So it's kind of interesting actually. I think with like anime in particular, something that's pretty fascinating about it is you can kind of tell like what time period it's made just by like looking at most animes. Cause like while there are like experimental ones, there's typically like a very like similar like or like popular things that like animes do. Like I feel like you can tell apart like a 2010s anime from like a today anime. It's very interesting. I don't think that really happens with Western anime. Like we're a lot more experimental, I think. Or like not even experimental, because like we definitely have like certain things that are quote unquote like popular art styles or whatever, but like I feel like you see a lot more variation in like Western cartoons. Not to say that that's like good or bad, it's kind of like a neutral thing, but I think that's interesting. I watched like 20 episodes of The Laughing Salesman. Some are also lost media. Oh, that's unfortunate because that's actually a pretty recent anime. I definitely need to look into it. Because I've heard a lot of good things about it. But it's also one of those ones where it's like, it's kind of obscure. It just didn't really get very popular. I've seen everyone who's watched it has talked very positively about it though. Correctly, even in Japan, I think it wasn't very like strong marketing or something. The neck looks weird. I'm just not gonna add the neck. No neck. Oh, the 1988 anime. Oh, that version. I didn't realize that there was a 80s version. Oh, that's interesting. Because I know there was a, I know that there was a, like, reboot or something? But I didn't know about the, that there was an older one. That's super interesting. Yeah, I don't know why. I really wish more stuff like that wasn't lost media. It's like, it makes me so sad when something's lost media. Who knows though, maybe it'll get found again one day. You never know with that type of stuff because like, another thing that's pretty interesting about that kind of stuff is like, people will be like, oh, I found this VHS in my, you know, basement or something. And it turns out it was this lost media. So that's usually why how a lot of that stuff gets found. At least for stuff that old. With stuff like Flash games and stuff, you can usually do a lot of digging on the internet yourself. But with like TV shows, you kind of just have to hope it shows up one day. It kind of stinks, but it's also like kind of interesting. Like, well, I guess we'll just wait until somebody goes through their VHS collection. If they even do that, or if they just don't just, you know, go to like a thrift store and just donate them without looking or thinking about it. I'm really digging this song. But I must warn you that the 80s one has a lot of flashes of black and white light. Oh, thank you for the warning. Fortunately I don't have epilepsy, so like I'll probably be okay. But if I do make a video about that, that is a good thing to keep in mind, cause oof. That was kind of common back in the day though. They just like did not give a shit. I mean, there's a reason why, like, Pokemon has that one infamous episode. It's not, like, out of malice, of course. It's just, like, they didn't realize, oh shit, that, you know, somebody with epilepsy might watch this. But, oof. Yeah. Also, hello! How is it going? I'm just drawing. Man, the Porygon episode was a interesting thing that happened in history. I hope everyone's having a good day today. Honestly, after stream, I'm probably gonna sleep, even though it's like noon, because I have a fucked up sleep schedule. That's what I get for working at a 24-hour place, though. I'm off Monday, though. So maybe I'll stream again. Maybe I'll stream, like, a video game or something, like, tomorrow. I really want to stream more. Ooh, some bossa style music. Yeah. Nice. I'm kind of excited to start streaming more. I have a lot of ideas for that as well, not just videos. Though that's probably obvious. What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say right in the middle of my sentence. Oh well, that'll come back to me maybe. What was your favorite video that you did of Osamatsu? For what's uploaded right now, I still think my strongest, I think my strongest video is probably the original one I did, where I talked about, like, the likability of the brothers, like, why we like them, and why they're such likable characters. Like, I think that was just, like, a really good video in general. A lot of people liked it, too. It's definitely the one I'm most proud of. Like, I think I did the best on that. Not to say that I'm not proud of the other videos that I did, it's just, I think that one's the best one. I'm kind of embarrassed, actually, of, the Totoko one. I think... First of all, I fucked up the editing a little bit. The in-between, like, segments audio is, like, too loud. And it jump scared quite a lot of people, and I felt awful. I was like, I'm so sorry, I fucked it up. I fucked it all up. But, aside from that, I also just think I was too opinionated in it. I think I could have wrote it better. I think I rushed it. I actually might remake that. That was like the only video that I was like, I kind of want to remake it. And I'm not even saying that like I won't voice my opinions. Like I do want to voice my opinions on like how I feel about characters and stuff, but like that should not affect like how I analyze a character, you know? Like I should be more subjective. But I wouldn't say it's terrible. Like I do think a lot of the information in there is helpful and accurate. I just think I could have done better, I think, with that one in specifics. But that's really the only gripes I have with it. Because the information about, like, you know, her origin and stuff like that, that is still accurate and not biased. But when I was doing that analysis, I feel like I was a little too biased, and like I should not be doing that. Like I think it's okay to like voice my opinions, but I need to make it clear that it's my opinion, right? Like I can't just I need to analyze the character and then be like, well, here is my opinion about it, you know, not accidentally skew both. That's how I feel about it. Yeah, so I think they're fine videos. I did really like my Chibita one too. I was very proud of the art I did on that one actually. And I also got to talk about Osamatsu-kun, which, like, I feel like that even gets even less recognition than Osasan does. Like, Osasan's already kind of a more obscure show compared to other more popular animes, and then you have Osokun, which pretty much only people in Japan really know about, and like, people really only know about it in the West because they're in the Osasan fandom. But anyone outside of the Osasan fandom, they have no idea what the fuck it is. These halos look okay. Maybe let's lower the opacity. Yeah, okay. That looks better. It was too distracting. I think this sketch has turned out pretty good. I unfortunately haven't heard back from the person who won first place in my art raffle on Twitter. I'm gonna give them a little while though, because I know not everybody's on social media all the time. Especially recently, because shit's stressful. Like, I know I haven't been on social media in a fucking while. I think I post once every blue moon. some Parappa music. Nice. Ooh, I love Parappa the Rapper. I kind of want to play it at some point, maybe on stream. I do suck at rhythm games though. Your art is really unique. I enjoy how you draw, and I also like the design of it. Thank you! Man, I have so much imposter syndrome with my art. I'm glad people like it though. I always worry it's not good enough. But surely, like, you know, people like it, so like I shouldn't. That's nothing to sneeze at. This is an instrumental of one of the Parappa the Rapper songs. Probably one of the best ones. I'm honestly like really excited to get back into YouTube and stuff again because it makes me really happy. So hopefully you guys will see me like streaming more and like doing more art and stuff like that. I've been like super motivated lately because I've been so excited that I'm officially back, you know, like finally posting again to my YouTube after over a year, I'm pretty sure. I miss uploading. Like, I mean that genuinely. I actually, like, I kind of wanted to do, like, a thank you thing to all of my supporters on here at some point. It may take me a while to do that, because, like, I kind of want to do, like, a big celebration or something. Maybe for, like, 1K or something like that. But I do want to, like, thank the community in some way. Because I don't know how I've managed to do this, but, like, everyone on YouTube has been so sweet and so nice. And I just have appreciated, like, how everyone has been. Especially, like, how patient everyone has been with me being gone. I legitimately cannot describe in words how grateful I am. Oh man, there was this one comment I got. I mean, like, a lot of the sweet ones make me tear up a little bit, but there was this one I got recently when I originally came back. Like, I posted in the community, like, oh, I'm making, like, a live 2D model so that I can stream more often. I was, like, announcing that. And, oh my god, the comment on that post. I legitimately, like, teared up a little bit reading it because they told me to, like, never give up. And I was like, that's so sweet. Again, I don't... And that's, like... That's not an outlier. Like, that's, like, a lot of the comments that I get. And, like, I don't know... I don't know how, but, like... I've cultivated a very, like... very friendly and sweet community. And I just want to thank you guys for that because it's legitimately... It makes me want to post more because I feel appreciated. Aw, that's sweet. Yeah, dude, I read every comment. I'm like not trying to be dramatic or anything, but some YouTube comments that I got actually got me through some really rough times. And like, I don't know what I'll do yet. Like, I have ideas. But eventually I want to do something that thanks all of you guys. Just because of, like, how lovely everyone has been. Again, I cannot overstate. I don't even think I could probably properly describe how thankful I am or how much I appreciate, like, how people have been. It gave me a lot of faith in humanity. Like, sometimes I feel like when you're in, like, a bad space, sometimes you think, like, oh, like, there's not very many good people left in society, or, like, you know, stuff like that, when you're, like, in a bad headspace and stuff, and you just feel bad, or something like that. But then, like, then y'all, like, really came through and were very sweet, and that, I don't know, that gave me a lot of faith. I'm being sappy right now. I'm really glad, though, because, like, you know, they always say, like, I mean, this is for, like, Twitch specifically, like, live streaming, like, the chat always reflects the streamer, so, like, I guess that means that, like, the positivity, I fucked up that word, the positivity that I want to put out, and, like, and stuff like that, brings in people who also want to have, like, that positivity and stuff. Because I know, like, that's, like, one of my biggest goals is, like, I want to make people smile, and, like, I want my channel and, like, my content to sort of be, like, a sanctuary from, like, stressful shit that's happening, you know? Because honestly, like, I get it, like, shit's stressful sometimes, and I want to help people, you know, like, smile, or, like, have, like, a nice conversation with people and stuff. Because you are amazing at drawing, we all appreciate you, and we all like to see more of it. Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you. I mean, like, I get such bad imposter syndrome. Like, part of me doesn't believe that, but, like, surely, like it must be true, right? Because I have people that actually, like, comment on my stuff and like that. If I can just make, like, one person's life better, like, I feel like that makes everything worth it. That's how I feel, anyway. I'm being sappy, but, like, I do genuinely mean all of this. I remember I was writing an intro for my Yami script, and I was going to thank you guys. I'm probably still gonna do it. I'm probably still gonna thank you guys in the video for being so patient and lovely and amazing. But oh my god, when I was writing it, I started to cry. I got emotional thinking about it, like, oh, people like little old me? People like little old me? That's crazy. But yeah, it got me through some pretty tough times. I don't think I'll talk about this in a video because that seems a little much. But, like, I had a really hard 2023. I'm not gonna lie, it was probably one of the worst years of my life. And I won't get too into it. But, there were times where, like, I would take a step back and remember that there are people out there that actually, like, give a shit about my stuff, and that really helps. Because you have a kind and chill voice. Thank you! Oh, I'm blushing. It's something that I, like, I don't know. I, like, totally just appreciate the absolute, like, I appreciate you guys so much. Like, absolutely. Sorry, my words are hard today. But yeah, that's definitely my goal, is, like, to have, like, a chill space to hang out. I want people to feel welcome. And something I also appreciate is, like, something I noticed on, like, specifically, like, my analysis videos is, like, people are really respectful about, like, when they disagree with my analysis and stuff. And that's, like, just, like, another sign that, like, I really appreciate in the community that I have somehow managed to cultivate, is, like, even when like, people are, like, maybe disagreeing with, like, my opinion or something like that, like, you guys are still, like, extremely respectful. Which is something that definitely, like, I notice and appreciate. And that's definitely, like, a community that I want to cultivate, you know? Like, I want people to be able to have, like, just, like, a normal-ass conversation. Like, you know, in the comments or something like that, and being respectful of one another. That stuff doesn't go unnoticed. I definitely see that stuff. I may not reply to everything, but, like, I definitely see that. I just think it's, like, a really good sign of, like, a community if you notice that people are being respectful and, not arguing. I feel like sometimes people get really heated in, like, comment sections and stuff. So it's really, like, a nice change of pace when people are just, like, all being very respectful. Even if they know maybe they don't, totally agree with, like, an opinion or something. Tell me about it. 2023 and 2022 was also a bad year for me too. Oh my gosh, it seems like I noticed this with, like, some of my friends. It seems like it was a really bad year, like a couple of years for, like, a lot of people. So honestly, I'm probably not alone in that boat. I'm sorry though, like, that fucking sucks. Honestly, like, 2022 was also pretty rough. It wasn't the worst ever. Like, I've definitely been through worse, but, woof, it was rough. I'm trying to look forward, though. 2024 so far has been a lot better. I'll say that. Like, it's been a lot better. I've been feeling a lot better. But, oof, yeah, the last couple of years were fucking, ooh, they were tough. Gotta put my signature. But yeah, I noticed that I think a lot of people kind of struggled in 2022 and 2023. I mean, honestly, after COVID, like, after, like, 2020, things have kind of been rough for a lot of people, I've noticed. I think that's just how life goes sometimes, though. It's like, you'll have just, like, a batch of a few years that just kind of suck. Hey, at least I proved people wrong when, when, you know, we all said that, like, 2016 was the worst year ever. Hey, we topped it. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, well, this is this one done. This was for the third place person in my art raffle, so let me save it real quick, and then I can move on to the second place one. That one's actually going to be colored, so that will be fun. Okay. There we go. Oh wait, this is the wrong canvas size. That's the thumbnail size. That's not my real canvas. Okay, there we go. This looks incredible. Thank you. Indeed, 2024 has been getting better. Yeah. Honestly, I hope this year is a good year. I know it's kind of like kind of dumb to say that, because, like, obviously there's still gonna be bad parts of the year, but, like, I definitely hope it's better, right? You know, because, like, oh my god, I hit a rock bottom I didn't think I could hit in 2023. I hit rock bottom and I started to dig. Let me pull up the other references. Sorry, give me a second. New art reference, so I gotta open it all up. Okay. I got it. I hope 2024 will be great for you. Thank you. I hope it'll be great for you too. I hope it'll be great for everybody. That's what I hope. Honestly, like, getting back into YouTube has definitely, like, improved my, like, mood and stuff. So definitely, like, there's gonna be more stuff. Cause, like, I don't really know what happened, but, like, in, like, December 2023, I was like, I'm tired of feeling like shit! I'm tired of it! I'm tired, I just want to be happy! And I just got, like, all this motivation to, like, do stuff again for the channel. So, that's definitely helped a lot. Sometimes it's like that, though. Sometimes you just gotta, like... I'm tired of being miserable. You know? It was... I think it was, like, after... We got, like, snowed in for a week where I live because, in America we had, like, a huge, like, freeze where, like, all of the, like, warmer parts of the country were, like, having really bad winters. All of a sudden, like, there was a really bad, like, snowstorm. And, we got stuck in our house for, like, a week, and I just was, like... It finally gave me, like, an opportunity to take a break from, like, my job. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start uploading again. I miss that. That made me happy. I'm gonna do what makes me happy, you know? Sometimes you just gotta do what makes you happy. I don't really know what made me come to that realization. I just was like, maybe if I do something that just makes me really happy, I'll start feeling better. And it did! That, and I started learning live 2D cubism. Hopefully I can finish a proper model at some point. I only have like a test model right now. But yeah, once I'm done learning like the basics, I'm gonna start making my own. I like snow. Yeah. Snow is nice. It was kind of stressful for me though, because like, you know, I had a job I had to get to. I had to call out for like a week. It did give a good excuse though to take a break from work. Cause man, I work in the medical field. Not anything like huge, like I'm not a doctor, but like I work as a lab assistant, and it is stressful sometimes. And I didn't think I realized just how much my job was stressing me out until I was away from it, and I realized I wasn't that stressed out anymore. I'm very excited for the future, though. I think if you try, like, sometimes it's hard to be positive, but like, if you try and be positive, your outlook on life can be a lot better. Obviously, like, allow yourself to be sad when you need to be, or be upset, or angry, whatever negative emotion. 'Cause, like, you still need those emotions, but, you know, if you try to, you know, be more positive and have a more positive outlook on life, it does help. And that's what I've been trying to do lately, is like, you know, be positive. I'm practicing the basics of drawing too, and at the same time it can be a little stressful. Yeah, oh my gosh, good luck. Like, hopefully when I do more drawing streams and stuff I can give advice, but, like, just keep practicing, and, like, I promise you, you'll get better. Obviously, like, there's, like, some advice... There's some advice that I've heard from artists where they're like, you need to practice every day. If it's too much to practice every day, don't. Like, like, if you cannot practice every day, like, that's totally fine. You'll be fine. But I think that's a little bit misguided. I'm glad, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but that will kind of just lead to burnout. I would just take something one step at a time, you know? And like, the more you do stuff, the better you'll be, and like, always strive for improvement. Even now, like, as someone that's like relatively happy with like her art style and stuff like that, like, even now there's like a lot of stuff that I need to improve on personally. In fact, like, I was actually like going to do more art study streams, and like, you know, people who are also learning like art stuff can draw with me or whatever. 'Cause personally, something I want to get better at is like perspective. I need to get better at dynamic poses and backgrounds. Oh my god, that's a big one. I would like to learn how to do backgrounds better, because I just avoid them because I'm not very good at it. You're welcome. It can be stressful. It's always fine to take breaks, is my advice. You know, take breaks when you need to. Burnout happens. That kind of thing. Also, like, try to be kind to yourself. I know that's, like, a big problem I had when I was first starting out as an artist, as I was sometimes very mean to myself. And, like, it can be hard to not be mean to yourself, especially if you've, you know, like me, had, like, social anxiety or low self-esteem or something like that. Just, like, just be nicer to yourself. And I feel bad because I wish I could shake them and be like, it's okay, your art is good. Oh, also, don't be afraid to trace things. That just don't claim it as your own art. But, like, I think tracing kind of gets a bad rap because you know, you got people that ruin it. And they will trace something and then claim it as their own. But tracing is actually a very common, like, tactic to learn, like, anatomy specifically. As long as you do not claim that it is your art, or like I copied this photo, this is not my photo, you know, like, as long as you don't, like, do the shitty thing and claim that it's 100% yours, I think that's fine. Like, as a learning tool, it's actually very helpful. I know a lot of people use it, because, like, you'd be surprised how much, muscle memory you get from like, tracing, like, a car or something. It's a really good way to break down the basics, and, like, sometimes I know, like, to understand, like, a pose, I will, like, download, like, a stock photo image of, like, the pose that I want to replicate or something. And, I'll, like, try to block out the basic shapes over the image to, like, figure out, like, oh, so the arm goes here, this is how the rib cage looks, etc. As long as you aren't, like, you know, stealing shit, I think you're fine. But it's actually very useful. I think not that many people talk about that learning technique. But I think it's a useful one, especially if you are teaching yourself. It is a very good and easy way to learn some basics, like, of anatomy, how, like, the basic shapes of maybe an object are. Like, I know a lot of people, like I said before, a lot of people use it for, like, a car. But yeah. I'm not very good at, like, teaching, but there's lots of, like, good, like, tutorials and stuff out there as well. I try to give advice where I can, because, like, as a self-taught artist myself, like, I understand that it can be really stressful. I used to get so mad if I didn't get something right. Now I just kind of don't care. Like, I want my art to look good, but, like, I try not to stress myself out about it, you know. It's helpful. I'm glad. Oh, also, art school's a scam. Learn how to do art without art school. Many artists do. liking how this expression is looking. I hope I'm doing the nose okay, though. I think I need to make it maybe a little bit smaller. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. I made her nose too big. Oh yeah, this is looking pretty good. Dope. I'm too lazy to draw ears right now. I'm not gonna draw her ear. Okay. Change the sketch. Just because it's a different character. Oh, I almost forgot. Another thing is, like, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Think of them as, like, I don't know, like progress. I guess that's part of just, like, being positive, but I know a lot of, like, beginner artists tend to focus on, like, what's bad. And you do have to, kind of, to an extent, to, like, you know, improve. Like, you do have to be like, okay, well, I could do better here. But, you know, like, just think of it as, like, an opportunity to get better. Not that you, like, fucked up or something. Which I know is easier said than done for some people, which, same, relatable, but, oh yeah, like, something fascinating about art is that it's just always changing, and everything is subjective, and it is, just, you know, like, this weird thing that is, like, always changing, and you're always gonna be getting better the more you draw. That kind of stuff. Also, like, not that there's anything wrong with drawing what other people like, but I noticed that if you draw more what you care about and what you like, you know, you'll get less burnout and you'll have more motivation. I know I certainly did, because I actually used to be, like, an artist. This was years ago, but I used to be, like, that type of artist where I was like, I'll just draw what's popular and, like, what people like. And it made it, like, a chore. And when you're an artist, you kind of don't want that to happen. You want to be able to still enjoy it. And, like, there's definitely a lot of artists that do that and are successful still and, like, are still happy with drawing and stuff like that. But, like, if that doesn't make you happy, like, you know, you do you. Because honestly, like, the moment I stopped giving a shit and I just drew whatever the fuck I wanted, the more people liked my stuff. I think it's because I was more passionate about it. I think people, like, can sense when you're passionate about something. You know? Like, they almost sense, like, oh, like, you can tell, like, they actually, like, wanted this piece to be good. Or something like that. I think people are a lot more intuitive than maybe they're given credit for. Have you ever heard of Villainous? It's a cartoon on Cartoon Network. It's really good. I have heard of it. I have not watched it. I really like the designs from it. It looks really good. And honestly, I want to watch more, like, cartoons from other countries. Because, like, I know that one is from, I think, Mexico? Oh, bruh. His fucking head's too big. Hold on. Okay, that's way better. I drew his head massive. But yeah, I've heard of Villainous. It is one that I haven't watched. I think I just, like, wasn't super interested when it first came out. Like, it looked interesting, but I just, like, for whatever reason, I just didn't check it out. I also have that issue, though. I'm a lot better about it now, but, like, especially, like, a couple years ago, people would recommend me shows, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm totally gonna watch that, and then I just wouldn't. I'm a lot better about that now. I've actually been watching, like, new shit. But, no, definitely, like, a few years ago, I probably would have just been like, oh, yeah, I'll check it out eventually, and then eventually means never. Actually, it's not me, but, like, it's just another, it was the other person that won in my art raffle. They happen to also be someone that wears glasses. They're actually a very dear friend of mine. They also really like Osomatsu, so good taste, obviously. Great taste, in fact. Best boy, maybe? That would be really ballsy, though. Like, imagine if you win a raffle and, like, you win an art raffle and you tell the artist, yeah, you know what I want you to draw self-insert. The biggest big dick energy move. That'd be crazy. I'd respect it, though. No, yeah, I held an art raffle, and this is the second place person. Her name's Andrea. She's a wonderful artist, fantastic artist. I'll be posting them on my Twitter with ats to the people who won, if you want to check them out. So. I wish she drew more self-insert, but I know she's like a professional artist, so, you know, she has other important shit to be doing. She does still draw it a lot, though. I'm a sucker for that stuff. Oh, what was the outfit she wanted him to wear? I was gonna draw all 3 of the prizes today, but the first place person still hasn't talked to me yet. Funnily enough. I'm gonna give them a couple of days though, so that they can like actually like tell me what they want to draw, what they want me to draw. But I don't know. I will say if it takes too long, I may have to pick a different person. But I'll give them like a week or something. If they don't contact me within like a week. I feel like that's fair. Oh yeah, you definitely should. Andrea is fucking fantastic. Her art, she's actually an artist I look up to, like, a lot. Even though, like, we're kind of friends, like, I adore her art. It is actually, like, amazing. She makes the Matsus look so soft and cute. And yet her, like, art style is, like, kind of, like, not realistic, but it's more, like, skewed that way. Like, it's cartoony, but it's more on the realistic side, if that makes sense. And I don't know, she, like, the expressions, like, her expressions are amazing. I just love her. I love her art. She's fantastic. But I love everybody's art, so pretty much, that I've seen, so. Like, everybody in the community is just, like, fantastic. Everyone is so talented and lovely, and I just appreciate it all. She doesn't just draw Susan though. Like, she draws, like, Splatoon. It's, like, one I know she makes, like, a lot of, like, fan merch for. Like, video games and stuff like that. I think maybe she does some anime stuff. Drawing, Osamatsu's old, like, date outfit from, like, Hazakuri Wars. I forgot how cute that outfit is. I miss Hazakuri Wars. Why'd they have to get rid of that? Fucking Osa staff hates me. They get rid of all of the favorite stuff that they make. I remember, I don't know if y'all know this, but they had, like, a mobile game that was, like, it was almost like Cookie Run Kingdom. Like, you made, like, your own little island, and you made, like, your own little shops and stuff. But, it was mainly like it was almost like a farm sim. And you had the Matsus there, and you could give them different outfits and stuff. And, the outfits was like a gotcha. I started playing that game, like, when I had found out about it, because it was, like, a Japanese-only region game, so you had to, like, make a whole, like, Japanese, like, account with, like, Apple and stuff just to play it. So I was like, okay, cool, like, I can play it now, and I love this game. I loved it. It was so fun. And then, literally a week later, they shut down all the servers. I was devastated! I look up to your art, and I look up to other artists' art too. Yeah! That's something I love about the art community, is that, like, everybody's always, like, looking up to each other. I think that's nice. Ooh, did the music end? I think the music stopped. Let's pick out some new music. Give me a second, boys. Okay. But yeah, When it comes to like the art community, that's something I really like. It's like how everybody has somebody they look up to and stuff. After this art piece, I may go to bed. I'm getting sleepy. I'm not too sleepy because work wasn't really busy last night, but yeah. Ice cream. I know in the canon outfit that this is from, the ice cream doesn't have sprinkles, but I'm putting sprinkles, damn it. I think I'm gonna have him have one of the ice creams on his head. Have you ever heard of Tried and True by Ween? No. I have not. Tell me about it. I would like to learn. Okay, that's the sketchy done. Lower opacity. Oh, wait. They have really chill type of music. They also did Ocean Man from SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Oh, nice. I have heard of Ocean Man. I'm very bad at like recognizing names of songs and like bands. It's actually kind of funny. Cause like I have this with my partner all the time where like, cause he's really into music and like he loves bands, and like he like religiously follows some of his favorite bands, you know, which like I feel like that's pretty normal. If like you're really into music, that tends to be pretty normal. Like you follow the bands that you like pretty closely, but I'm not like that. And so like he'll be like, have you heard of this song? And I'll be like, no, never in my life. And then he'll start playing it, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, actually I have. I don't know why. I just don't normally care about like the band. It's really funny. We've had that happen several times, cause like he'll talk about like a really famous song, and like I'll just happen to not know like the name of it or like what band made it or whatever, and he'll try to explain it to me, and I'll be like, Ben, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. And then he'll play me this song, and I'll just be like, oh, you meant that song. You should have just said this. I don't know why I'm like that. Maybe it's just because most of the music I listen to is like Vocaloid music. Not being facetious, that's most of the music I listen to. I do enjoy other types of music though. I'm actually like I feel like this is kind of rare for people, but I kind of like all types of music. There's not really like a music genre that I don't really like. There's definitely ones I don't listen to as much, but like I feel like in every genre there's at least like a couple of songs that I like. Even if I'm not particularly fond of the genre. Like country is a really good example of that. Like I don't like most country music, but there's some country songs that are actually really good. Hello, I'm new here. I'm bored. Hi, welcome. I'm drawing some stuff for an art raffle that I held on my Twitter. I hope you're having a good day. You can listen to it, you might like it. Yeah, honestly, I probably will. Cause I mean, I like all types of music. It's kind of hard to say that there's like a genre or something that I don't like, honestly. I have like this huge playlist on YouTube, of like all the almost all of the music that I listen to. Not everything, but like it's pretty damn close. And it's wild how weird it gets up in there. There's shit from every single genre. But yeah, it's mostly, I think it's just because I largely was huge into like the anime community back in like, 2010 and stuff, when I was a kid. And I just I mostly listen to Vocaloid music because of that. Which I know, like, some people are gonna be like, oh, bad taste. But, Yeah. I like to joke that I have horrible taste in music. Alright. Sorry if I get a little quiet during the liner. Liner's like the hardest thing for me to fucking do. I mean, like, I know my liner is still relatively messy, but like... even doing that, I'm like... ugh. I used to try to do like super clean liner. I'm kind of glad I don't anymore because I think my art honestly looks better with kind of messy liner. But man, that used to be miserable. Cause I would always like fuck it up. I'm kind of glad I decided to stop doing that. Ooh, that was a bad. I do still try to make it semi-clean. Let's change the angle. Oh, this hair is giving me problems. Okay, I think that's probably the best it's gonna get. Yeah, that's fine. That was better than what it was. Okay. That's definitely better than how I originally was. Oh. Sorry about the sound, that was with my cats. I think they knocked a thing over. Okay, let's do the hands. Is this Feliz Navidad? I think it's just video game music, but it sounds really similar to Feliz Navidad. I feel like I'm going fucking crazy right now. Okay, it's a different song now. I swear to God, I think it was playing like a weird version of Feliz Navidad. Like an instrumental. Weird. There we go. It's looking good. Also, sorry if you guys hear meow sometimes in the background. I have 2 cats, and one of them is very talkative. We actually think he may be part, I think, Russian blue? Yeah, Russian blue. And Russian blues are, like, known for being super, like, they'll have conversations with you. They're super talkative. He is. He meows all the time. He's very funny. It's usually when he, like, wants attention. Do you like cats? I like both. I was kind of like that kid that would read like those informational like encyclopedia books for fun. And like if it had animals in it, I definitely was gonna read it. I remember I read like a whole thing on like whales. But yeah, I like both. I will say like just like for my personality, like I am kind of just slightly more of a cat person. But like I do still really love dogs. Like obviously dogs are adorable. But like I'm a very reserved person and like, you know, sometimes I kind of just want to be by myself and like I've grown up with cats all my life. And something they're like really good at and like good about is that they you know, they give you your space when you need it. But I feel like sometimes dogs don't. Like they're so like energetic and stuff. Not every dog, obviously. Like I had a Chihuahua that was honestly more cat-like, which people are always surprised to hear that. She was very sweet. Even though she was a Chihuahua, she was very shy. She was a very shy dog, and she was very quiet. And you know, she sometimes just liked to be by herself, and I understood that. It was like she was just kind of a more reserved dog, honestly. And that kind of personality I tend to prefer, like. Not that I don't appreciate like the energetic stuff, it's just. And like as an artist too, like there's a lot of like free time I spend where I'm just like drawing. And like a cat's gonna be fine with that, but a dog might want to play or something. It's just like not really great for my lifestyle. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with dogs. Dogs are very cute and amazing. We actually may get like a small dog at some point. I don't want like a big dog if we do get one. Because they tend to be like pretty high maintenance. But like a small dog would probably be nice. I probably get loving cats from my family though, and like especially my grandma. Oh, she loves cats. Honestly, kind of a crazy cat lady. I respect it though. I remember I used to joke being like, actually I kind of want to be the crazy cat lady that everybody jokes about. That's honestly a good question though. Cause like, I don't know. It's like a weird thing that we debate. I feel like a lot of like people who like super love dogs really hate cats though, which it makes me sad. Cause I've noticed, like, as someone that just like loves animals and loves learning about them, a lot of the time, like, when someone has, like, bad experiences with, like, a cat, it's just because they read their body language wrong. And the cat got upset because they were, like, you know, like, maybe stressing them out. Because I've noticed that, like, sometimes people will be like, well, it's basically like a dog. And so, like, they try to treat it like a dog. You know, like a dog doesn't, they'll take any kind of affection anytime, you know, typically. But like a cat maybe doesn't always want to be a pet all the time. So. I had a Pomeranian. She was a sweetheart and feisty. Her name was Sadie. Aw, cute! Yeah, I had a Chihuahua. Her name was Bella. I mean, well, we just called her Bella, but her full name I think was Bella Noche, which is, it means beautiful night in Spanish. And she was very sweet. I think little dogs like that get a bad rap, which is so sad, because dude, if you treat them right, they're amazing companions. My Chihuahua used to be really feisty though. When she was like, when Bella was very young, she was like basically my guard dog. She did not like it when people touched me. But as she got older, she just kind of got more like, she just kind of like chilled out, like she mellowed out. Like she was like, I'm old. Hello. Me too. Like, what do they got against the cats? Oh, yeah. I always get really sad when someone who, like, really, really loves dogs is like, oh, I hate cats. And it's like, oh, man, they didn't do anything to you. I think maybe it's just because, like, I've had a lot of very sweet cats. Because I'm sure there probably are mean cats. I wouldn't doubt that. And, like, if somebody has a bad experience with cats, that's totally valid. But, like, my experience with cats have always been positive. And, like, if a cat has gotten upset with me or, like, something, it's usually, like, my fault. You know? So... I definitely understand that. But like especially with the cats I have now. I have one cat named Gandalf. He's like 3 years old. Maybe 3 now. Incredibly sweet. Very talkative. He, waits by the window whenever I come home from work. He, like, knows, like, when I come home. And I have a second cat. His name is Scooter. He's an orange cat, orange tabby. Gandalf is a gray Russian blue. I mean, he's more like a mix, but we were pretty sure like his dad or something was like a Russian blue or something. But with Scooter, he is so sweet. I got him when he was a baby. I got him when like 7 weeks old, and I taught him to like be accepting of like affection and like being picked up and stuff, and like really a large reason why people have like bad experiences like with cats is because they like don't know how to read their body language, or I mean it's mostly just that, right? Like they just like don't really know how to read a cat, or like they'll read it like a dog and not realize that even though like yeah, like dogs and cats are kind of similar animals, that their behaviors are like super different. Not that there aren't like mean cats. There are. There absolutely are. But, you know. I think it's more subjective than like, oh, all cats are assholes. But I've met like, you'd think that'd be obvious, but like I've met like actual people that like actually believe that. And then when I tell them, like, oh, well, I mean, my cats are very sweet, and they cuddle me all the time, and, you know, they're pretty well behaved. Like, they do get into trouble sometimes, but, you know, they're always, like, shocked, and I was just confused by that, because it's like, well, I mean, if you treat a cat right, then, yeah, they're gonna be fine. It's kind of crazy, though. I think a lot of people have that problem, and like I don't really blame them. I just think it's like a lack of education kind of thing. Cause like I know the same problem happens when like people have pet birds. Like they'll treat it like a dog, and it's like that's a bird. You need to research and treat it like a bird. If you treat it like a dog, you're gonna confuse it. Like the behaviors that a dog does don't mean the same thing when you're a bird. They might mean entirely different. You might be totally confusing this poor parrot. Oh shit. Okay. It's kind of interesting though. I'm like a huge nerd though. I'm a huge nerd when it comes to that stuff. Aside from like wanting to be an artist as a kid, I also wanted to be a vet, which is why I know a lot of this stuff, because I was like, I love animals. I love animals. I'm gonna learn everything about animals. Honestly, to this day, I still like watch like animal educational videos. I'm that nerd that liked school. It was like, oh, I can't wait to go to the library and learn about dolphins or something. Let's see. Line art looking good. It'll be more concise once I get the color on there. Hi, Luma. I'm a nerd when it comes to cartoons. Yeah. I'm that too. I have like a few subjects that I'm like super passionate about. And like, I feel like people could ask me any question about it and I would probably know an answer. For things like totally useless, right? I don't have any like, I don't know anything important like math. I'm really bad at like math, but like I can tell you like that a human is like super closely related to a rat. that besides like chimpanzees, a rat is the closest, one of the closest animals we're related to. I'm that type of nerd. Thank you. Oh, that actually reminds me. So I listened to like a medical history podcast, and like they talk about like weird stuff that we used to do and like stuff we got wrong, and it's actually pretty funny. It's called Sawbones. I would definitely recommend it. Though if you're queasy, I would be careful what episode you watch. A good one to start is like the one they talk about soda. Cause if you don't know this, like soda used to be like medicine. That's not what I was gonna talk about. That's like a tangent. But I was listening to it, and they were talking about like tickling, like why do we get tickled? What does that mean? And like what purpose does it have and stuff like that, and the research that we've done on like what tickling is as like a reflex and stuff like that. It's really interesting. That's also a good episode. But they talk about something that made me really happy is like they did tickle experiments on rats, and they would tickle them and rats liked it. And I just think that's so funny. They liked it. They would and the reason they know this, they knew that the rats liked it, is they would do something called a joy jump. And a joy jump is an animal behavior that we even see in humans, like we see it in little kids, where you get so happy and excited that you literally like jump. Like you jump for joy. Little kids do it a lot. But it's something that a lot of mammals do in particular. I think that's so interesting. Like, I also just think it's funny. Like, you could tickle a rat. Also, I'm glad you can make it, Luma. I hope you're having a good day. But yeah, I know like a bunch of useless shit like that. I don't know anything that would actually help me in the world. I know some stuff. But most of the stuff I'm like interested in and know about is like stuff that would like really useless trivia you would never fucking need to know about. Once I get this line art done, I may end the stream because I'm getting pretty sleepy. But, I'll finish the line art first. But yeah. Sometimes I wish I was, like, the type of nerd that, like, liked math or something. Instead, I just like anime. And most recently, I've been learning a lot about VTubers, so that's been fun. I can thank Luma for that. Okay, not entirely, but she did help me get into, like, Hololive, specifically. thank you. Yeah, day has been fine. Your drawing is looking great so far, by the way. Thank you. Oh, I should maybe show the old drawing for new viewers. Hold on. For people who missed it, this was the drawing I finished earlier. This was for third place winner in my art raffle that I did on Twitter. And right now I'm working on my the second place winner. Do you play Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon? I've actually never played Yu-Gi-Oh, but I do really love Pokemon. I would love to stream it one day, actually. I know I'd probably very easily be able to play like Pokemon on like the Switch, but unfortunately I would probably want to play like an older version or something, like the DS. Maybe like with the 3DS versions or something like that, or maybe even like black and white. Cause like I know people like Scarlet and Violet, and like I thought it was okay. And Sword and Shield was good, but they're definitely not like the best Pokemon games. I think Game Freak has gotten kind of lazy, and that comes from like a diehard Pokemon fan. I think a lot of people like excuse their laziness though, unfortunately. I do love me some Pokemon though. Yu-Gi-Oh does seem like it really interesting. I know a lot about it. I don't know that much about it in terms of like the card game or like if there's any video games, but like I mean pretty much everybody's seen like a little bit from like the 4Kids dub, right? The Shadow Realm. Have you watched Scott Pilgrim Takes Off? I need to watch it. I have! Oh my gosh, yes you do. It is really good. I actually thought about making a video about it when it came out, but everyone and their mom made a video about it, so I feel like it would just be oversaturation. Maybe now that that hype has died down, I probably could make a video about it now. But I really like that Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. It was. I remember like that entire time I was watching it with like my partner. I was just like marveling at like the animation quality, and like I had really liked the movie. So like I noticed a lot of the references. It's something that was fun though. It's like because they packed so many references in it. It's kind of one of those ones that you have to rewatch a few times because there will be like references and stuff that you miss. Like there are some like really obvious ones, but like I definitely missed the one. Oh, somebody's calling me. Sorry about that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was very good. The music was also really good. It was made by Anamanaguchi, I think is how you pronounce it. I hope I said that right. I hope they get a second season of the show. Yeah. Honestly, I hope so too, but I know the creator of Scott Pilgrim said that just in case they didn't, they tried to leave it off at like a point where people wouldn't be upset. Like if it ended there. Like there is a cliffhanger, and I won't spoil it for those who haven't seen it yet, but there is a cliffhanger, but you could kind of tell it was not like a huge cliffhanger because they didn't want to get people's hopes up if like it didn't get a season, which like I understand. It does suck that that's kind of the state of animation though, because like I feel like with like a lot of like streaming services and like television networks and stuff like that, they would much rather like spend money on like a show that they deem is like safe and like they know for sure is gonna give them money, and not on something kind of experimental like how the Scott Pilgrim anime was. Like, because the Scott Pilgrim anime, it's super duper experimental. In fact, I love that about it. Like, it's fantastic. The art direction's amazing. But unfortunately, like, sometimes networks prefer something that's safe over something that's something that's like super experimental like that. I don't know how else to word it. Something that's maybe like revolutionary. It's like they don't really care about creativity at the end of the day, which is kind of upsetting. Yeah, it's been rough for animation shows the past recent years, sadly. It really has. It makes me really sad. Ugh. 'Cause, like, a lot of good shows end up not getting a season. Even when they're popular. Even when they're popular and they're doing well, they still might not get a season because, like, the network is like, we'd rather give Family Guy, like, a 20th season. Because they know they'll make money from that. I am, even though it has been kind of rough for like cartoons and animation in general, I will say I'm glad that a lot more like creative endeavors and like creative like shows, like stuff that's more risky is starting to become more popular, because like people do like it and people want to see more of it. It's just like, obviously, like a network like Comedy Central, Cartoon Network, etc., any like big company like that is gonna worry more about profit than creativity. But I don't know, I feel like people are really starting to value creativity more in like TV shows. And I'm not even really saying that, like, quote-unquote less creative shows don't have their place. Like, they definitely do. It just sucks that sometimes something that could be really interesting and could be really creative and fun and new and, you know, honestly sometimes, like, revolutionary will get, like, sidelined for something that's, like, safe. That's something that's more profitable. It is what it is, though. I know, right? Like, Inside Job. Oh, Inside Job's a really good example of that. I know, like, Inside Job did get... Like, I know some people were, like, mad that it kind of looked like Rick and Morty. I don't think it was a Rick and Morty clone. I actually really liked Inside Job. It was actually a really good show. But, no, yeah, it got super fucked over by Netflix. That's not surprising to me. Netflix has fucked over... I don't understand Netflix. Because, like, at least with, like, networks or streaming services, like Cartoon Network or, like, even, like, Disney and stuff like that, if a show does really good, they will keep it. But, like, Netflix is weird, and, like, some of their most popular shows, they just, like, completely fuck over. And I don't know why they do that. They actively shoot themselves in the foot. It's crazy. I don't know why they do that, though. Like, I know, another big one that they just, like, canceled, even though it was super popular, was, like, Tuca and Birdie. That's a really good show. I really like that show. It was even made by, someone who worked on BoJack Horseman, which is another show of theirs that's really popular. And yet they canceled it after season 1. Even though it was, like, super popular and people loved it. But, I don't know. Netflix makes some weird decisions that I don't understand. I don't think I'll ever understand. Fortunately with Tuca and Birdie, they got lucky though, and, like, Adult Swim was like, why the fuck did you cancel this show? Because they saw that it was doing really well, and so they picked it up for season 2. I remember that show. Yeah. And unfortunately it doesn't get talked about a lot. But it's actually a pretty good show. I personally really like Tuca and Birdie. I don't know why Netflix does that, though. They do that a lot. My guess is, like... Ah, man, I don't know. I was gonna make a guess, but then the more I thought about it, like, I realized my guess didn't really make sense. Cause, like, I know... hold on one second. Sorry, I had to step off of my computer for a second. But no, yeah. It's just sad. Like, a lot of good shows get kind of sidelined. How about the Owl House? That show got screwed by Disney so bad. That is true, but I think that was less so because it was creative and more so because they like had like a lesbian couple in it. 'Cause, like, to be honest, Disney doesn't have the greatest track record with stuff like that. They've kind of been known to reject that stuff because you know, they want to please, like, more conservative people too. I know a lot of people brought up, like, China with that, but I think that's not actually true. I think that may be apocryphal, but I'm sure they definitely have, like, conservative investors, and when that happened, they, like, canceled it. But Disney's weird because they try to, like, have their cake and eat it too. Like, they they will like have, you know, like conservative investors and stuff like that, but then will have like pride merch and stuff. It's, you know, they're trying to appeal to everybody. I get it from like a corporation standpoint, but outside of that, it's like, we know why you're doing that. It's for money. I don't know why either. Sadly, companies seem to push animation shows out of the way first when they have plans for other live action content. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Referring to Netflix, I mean. That is a good point. Like, animation does still have, like, that connotation, right? That, like, that it's less than, like, a live action show. That's not, because it's animation, it's not as good. Which, like, I think a lot of people are starting to see through that, and, like, they like animation shows despite that. You know? Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. But, they... I don't know how to word it. I hope I'm making sense, though. But there's definitely, like, that connotation. Like, I still to this day, like, will have people judge me when they find out that I watch cartoons. There's, like, a weird connotation. It is slowly, you know, disappearing and going away, because I think more and more people are like, it's a medium, which, like, I think is a good way to look at it. Like, it is a medium. Just because it is a certain type of medium doesn't mean it's, like, just for kids. It's kind of like puppeteering actually had a very similar thing. This is just some, like, TV history that I know. Back when, like, the Muppets were a thing, like, Jim Henson actually had to deal with a lot of the same issues because people were like, well, puppets are for kids, but he wanted to make adult shows, like, with the Muppets. And animation, I think, suffers from that a lot. Like, animation community does unfortunately suffer from that quite a bit. Like, people will be judgmental if you watch cartoons. It's not as bad, but it's definitely still there. And don't get me started on Nickelodeon. Oh my god, they have a whole channel. They have a whole channel dedicated to putting their dying shows. Oh, is your show not doing well? Let's put you on Nicktoons, aka the channel where your show goes to die. And then they'll greenlight shit like Fanboy and Chum Chum. Did anyone ever like that show? Even when I was a kid, I didn't like it. Indeed. Cartoon Network kind of had a similar thing, though. Because they had Boomerang, and they would put shows that... They weren't as egregious about it, though, as Nickelodeon was. And Nickelodeon is notorious, too, for, like... Because a show did well, you have to, like, never let it die. Because that's what happened to... That's what's happening to SpongeBob. That's what's happening what happened to the Fairly Odd Parents, but the Fairly Odd Parents did eventually get canceled at one point. So that one did die. It's just, you know, they really did let it go on for too long. It was a little too late at that point. I love Fanboy and Chum Chum. Granted, it didn't have moments that it did have moments that it was annoying, but it was kind of funny. Honestly, I was kind of joking, but Fanboy and Chum Chum's a weird show because there was definitely moments that made me laugh. It's definitely not as bad as I think people give it shit for. Like, I've definitely watched worse shows. I do remember the annoying moments very well, though. There was a lot of, like, yelling in that show, if I remember right, and I didn't really like it as a kid. I remember I think I revisited it because, like, a YouTuber I liked tried to watch through it. And it ended up actually not being as bad as people tend to remember. I think what happened is, like myself, we ended up... Most people really only remember the parts that were annoying. Which is unfortunate. But yeah, I actually thought, as an adult, I think it's okay. Not the best cartoon ever, but there's definitely, like, worse ones out there. Something fun about, like, cartoons and TV shows in general is, a lot of it is, like, spectrum, like a spectrum. So even if, like, you don't necessarily like a show, like, there's usually stuff you can still recognize about it that were done well or something like that. I will say, I think, honestly, Fanboy and Chum Chum would have done better if it was 2D animated instead of 3D animated. Because it's design, I actually kind of like the designs, but, like, those designs they do work better in a 2D, like, situation. But I know it's hard, too, because, like, a lot of networks will push CGI over 2D animation just because it's cheaper and less, like, labor intensive. It's kind of, like, similar to, like, the difference between like, actually drawing, like, frame by frame animation and, like, rigged animation. It's, like, pretty similar to that. How about Breadwinners? That show doesn't have good representation. Views other. I honestly didn't watch very much Breadwinners. It's very saturated. Hurt my eyes. Oh, yeah, I remember when Problem Solvers came out. I'm honestly surprised it wasn't an Adult Swim show. I think originally it was supposed to be. I think that's the line art. Yay! Okay. I'm getting kind of sleepy, so I think I'm gonna end the stream here. But thank you guys for coming and watching me draw and talking with me. How about Mighty Bee? Remember that show? I do remember that show. I actually did really like Mighty Bee. I liked Mighty Bee. I know a lot of people don't like Mighty Bee, but I actually liked it. Especially for the art style. Okay, I got distracted. I'm gonna go to bed. But thank you guys so much for coming by and hanging out with me. I may or may not stream tomorrow. If not, I'll see y'all next week. Alright. Later.